a starry night. Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on the summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hill, sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and winter chills in colors on the snowy land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffer for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Mira and welcome back to my channel. Hi! Look at me, all fancy again. Hope you're having a great day so far, and if not, I hope this video will make you even better. And as always, before we begin, please click that bell button besides my subscribe button so you'll be notified if I upload something new. Now, regarding this movie, according to IMDb, this movie is released in 2017. I am positive that I've watched some kind of documentary about this movie that Loving Vincent is made by at least 100 something artists, and they are doing all of the animation based on Vincent van Gogh's painting style. And I thought at first this is something that I should see because I actually love Vincent van Gogh so much. If you follow my YouTube journey, you'll know that I've been to Europe recently, and that includes Netherlands as well, where Vincent van Gogh was born. And I did visit a museum there. I forgot what it was called, but they have several Vincent van Gogh's paintings there. And it wasn't the Starry Night because I know the museum that I visited wasn't the Van Gogh Museum because that is where the Starry Night plays. But I recognized the strokes and I knew that he was the one that painted these masterpieces, and my heart just melts. I just stood there for a few minutes just soaking in the beauty and simply just letting myself fall in love with these paintings. Now I get to see the entire movie animated in Van Gogh style, and the experience was amazing. The movie is about Van Gogh, but it was told in a third-person point of view, more like a lot of third persons point of view. The story started with Armand Roland, a guy who was the son of the late Van Gogh's postman, was being asked for help by his father to deliver a letter from Vincent addressed to his brother, which is Theo van Gogh. At first, Armand was hesitant because he thought this wasn't his job. But since his father insisted, he embarks on a journey to find Theo van Gogh, only to realize that there is a bigger picture, including how complicated Vincent's death was, and eventually Armand is determined to figure out the mystery once and for all. In the end, there was a happy ending, both for Vincent's death and for Armand himself. But to figure out how all of this happened, you should really just watch the movie by yourself. First reaction, I know this movie is a result of 100 plus pair of hands, and that's what makes this movie so awesome. It's almost like a stop motion, just canvas after canvas and after canvas got put together for a scene, and that actually makes me wonder how the entire scene is done, because the paintings of the animators are very similar to the actors' face. So what I imagine is the director shot the entire movie in real life. At least the conversation part was shot in real life. The characters might not do the conversation in an open field, which they did quite a lot in the animation, but the faces, the expressions, they are very real. And that is a very different approach from what I've seen in many other animated movies, because they either use stop motion, CGI, those motion captures things that makes people faces went silly, and they have to wear those bright tights, but I rarely see something like this. If you guys know what this technique is called or how this entire movie is made, please let me know because I'm curious. It's just so neat and beautiful. And I've seen the website of this and I just tried to learn and I just didn't get it. So if you guys can explain it to me, I would appreciate it a lot. The second part is I appreciate the idea of telling Vincent's death in a third-person point of view. We all know how everyone viewed Vincent van Gogh. Some said he is an unknown genius. Others said he is just plain insane. And then another person said another thing, and so on and so forth. But this movie tells a different story. How maybe, just maybe, regardless of how Vincent was, aka the man who actually cuts his own ear and give it to a prostitute, he still has a heart and is willing to sacrifice himself for the people that he loved the most. He isn't perfect and he might look like a failure for half of his life, but he still thinks of others, especially his brother. Now, whether this story is true or not, I did not know, and the movie didn't really tell us if this is a true story or not either. They probably said that this is fiction and I just skipped that part. But this is the best version that I've ever seen about Vincent's death, and maybe like many other viewers that love Van Gogh's works too, this is the version that we choose to rather believe in. Oh, and there's a very distinctive difference between the present scene and the past scene. Now, I am not familiar with all of Van Gogh's work, but I knew his strokes and I knew his approach to objects that he wanted to paint, and usually he uses vibrant colors to represent them. However, whenever the scene flashed back to the past, the painting/animation became dimmer and much more realistic. The face is much clearer and the painting itself is in black and white. So present is much more vibrant and much more Van Gogh. Past is much more realistic and in black and white. It keeps the viewers on track with the storyline since they are going back and forth quite often, so I was able to understand the story quite good. That's kind of like a unique little tidbit that I like about this movie. So we move on to the characters. My favorite is actually the postman himself, played by Chris O'Dowd, and this time it's not just because the character appeals to me, but because Chris O'Dowd did such a good, almost comical job at being the postman. How his voice sounds, how his face was, and how his whole look was. Maybe the makeup and the casting department is the one that should be congratulated about this. But I just enjoy his character very, very much. Second favorite is Adeline Ravu because she's just so beautiful and cheerful and kind. Yes, I know I focus more on the characters like I always do, but these two are the ones that I enjoyed the most. I don't really have a least favorite character in here because I think they did their job pretty well. The actors, I mean. So most of the characters are enjoyable, but those two that I mentioned first are the most enjoyable. The end question always remains, should you watch this movie? If you are interested in some kind of biographical drama, then why not? However, this movie can be quite boring and scarce of the real drama, should you ever look for one. So watch out for those. Don't watch if you yearn like really dramatic scene or action or even deep intrigue. This movie won't have that. But if you do love Van Gogh, if you admire his work, or if you just want to know a little bit more about the possibilities of his life and his death, then watch this. You'll feel everything and understand him even just for a little bit. So, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Now that you've watched my video, even more wonderful day, I guess. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you do like this video. If not, let me know what you don't like and maybe I can do something about it. I don't know. Also, follow my Facebook and Instagram. They're in my description below. And thank you again so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time. Bye! And now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They did not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry night, you took your love as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you.